So, the Brooklyn Nets have just signed LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm a bit late to this, but whatever. So just another former All-Star added to the Nets, which I think I can call them a super team now. Another former All-Star added to the Nets super team. On paper, like if this was a team in 2015, I think the world would explode. And now that's a team in 2021, the world is sort of exploding anyways because these are a huge collection of talented players. Obviously, Aldridge is not what he once was. He is not an all-star anymore. He is not someone who puts up 24, 25 points a game, gets you double-digit rebounds. But he is still someone who this season is averaging 13.7 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and I just want to see his three-point shooting stats. He's shooting 3.6 a game at 36%, because I think at this point in Aldridge's career, and for the Brooklyn Nets, that's the most important thing. I'm just going to say, he's terrible defensively, can't close out, can't move his feet, can't guard the pick and roll. But offensively, he's a good jump shooter, and he's still a good post player in my opinion. Never really relied on his athleticism on offense, so he can still give them some scoring off the bench. So I would say that's the positive for Brooklyn. If we think of his role, I don't think he'll be starting. I think their lineup is going to be the big three: Harden, Kyrie, KD, Joe Harris, and then a big. And that big is going to be matchup dependent, whether it's DeAndre Jordan or Jeff Green or Nick Claxton. And then off the bench, they have guys like Bruce Brown and Blake Griffin, and now LaMarcus Aldridge, who can help them out. I feel like their roster might be a bit too big man heavy, and maybe they want to go after another guard. Obviously, the trade deadline has now passed, so it would be in the buyout market. But more depth can't really hurt them, and that's sort of what Aldridge is for them to me. Offensively, I think he's a guy whose main job is going to be spacing the floor for the other more athletic, more talented players that he's playing with. And then maybe once or twice, he can set a decent screen, or you can throw it to him in the post if he has a mismatch. I still think he's strong enough and smart enough to know when to attack mismatches and things like that. So that could be helpful for the Brooklyn Nets. And then just spacing the floor, that'd be the biggest thing. And then defensively, like I said, it's not great. But the Nets aren't going to be great defensively anyways, but the Nets have been doing a lot more switching on that end, and Aldridge can't switch. Like, if you're a guard and you get Aldridge on a switch and you're not getting a layup, then you probably shouldn't be an NBA player, to be honest. He's very slow-footed at this point in his career. How old is he? He is 35 years old, almost 36. So coming towards the end of his career. Did he play in college with KD? I think they might have played at Texas together, so maybe he knows KD that way. Surely that was part of his motivation, going to the Nets, that along with, trying to win a ring. And then I don't think the Lakers would have wanted just because of the defensive stuff. But another addition to the Nets here, if we think of how this could go wrong, I think the first thing would be, I've already talked about the defense. I think that's going to be bad anyways, but if he's demanding too much, if he's demanding to be a starter, if he's demanding, 10 post touches a game, that sort of thing, and that's just not going to work, because throwing it to Aldridge in the post, it used to be a good option, but when you have players like James Harden and Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, they're all much better options. Even Joe Harris is a better option at this point in their careers, in my opinion. So that's part of the thing. The chemistry, he's just not playing enough, because they have a lot of big guys now. None of them are great, but DeAndre Jordan, Jeff Green, Nick Claxton, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, those guys are all going to be expecting to be playing. And, maybe you could play two of them together, but you definitely can't play three of them together. So Steve Nash has an even bigger job in terms of managing the personalities on this team. Obviously, Kyrie just disappears sometimes. Harden has been a model citizen so far in Brooklyn, but I don't know how long that's going to last. And then just a lot of players who expect to play, especially at the big man position, I could see that going wrong. And then just defensively, I'm saying he's already bad, but he's even worse than that. That would be sort of how it would go wrong. But my thoughts on the deal overall, I don't really like it. I mean, it's not like they have too much to lose. I think it's a relatively low risk move, and they still have a roster spot available, but I just don't see the point. I think he might be the worst defensive player, and then offensively, if you're not throwing it to him in the post, he's only just an average 3-point shooter, and the Nets already have plenty of shooting. So I'm not a real huge fan of it. I think LaMarcus Aldridge could have been better utilized on a team that would need him more, like the Miami Heat. But anyways, Aldridge signs with the Nets. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more NBA content, and I'll see you guys next time.